For the last 70 years, every dollar in your wallet has been backed by something more powerful than gold. It's been backed by warships. The U.S. Navy made your money valuable. But that era is ending, and the consequences could reshape the entire global economy. How did this happen? And what does it mean for your wallet, your savings, and the future of American power? Let's break it down. After World War II, the United States was the undisputed superpower. In 1944, the world gathered at Bretton Woods and agreed to make the US dollar the world's reserve, pegged to gold. Other nations tied their currencies to the dollar, and just like that, it became the backbone of global trade. But here's the catch. Money is only valuable if people trust it. And global trust in the dollar didn't just come from paper or gold. It came from steel. The steel of U.S. Navy aircraft carriers patrolling the oceans, destroyers protecting trade routes, and submarines ensuring no one could threaten the system. The U.S. had the largest navy in the world, with fleets spanning every major sea lane. This created what economists call the exorbitant privilege. America could borrow and spend in its own currency because the world needed dollars and everyone trusted them. Why? Because the U.S. Navy kept the oceans safe for business. Over 90% of all global trade travels by sea. Think about it. Every container ship leaving China, every oil tanker crossing the Persian Gulf, is indirectly protected by the U.S. Navy. That guarantee isn't free. It costs American taxpayers about $150 billion a year. But that investment underpins a staggering $4.6 trillion in commerce. This system was cemented during the 1973 oil crisis. OPEC cut off oil to the U.S., prices quadrupled, and the global economy nearly collapsed. Out of that chaos, the petrodollar system was born. In a secret deal, the U.S. offered Saudi Arabia military protection. In return, Saudi Arabia agreed to price all of its oil exclusively in U.S. dollars. Soon, all of OPEC followed. If you wanted to buy oil, you needed dollars. The Navy made sure the oil kept flowing, and the dollar became the currency of energy. In 1971, President Nixon officially ended the dollar's link to gold, but in practice, the Navy stepped in as the new backer. This military dominance, combined with the petrodollar, kept foreign nations hooked on dollars. Oil-producing countries sold oil for dollars, then invested those petrodollars back into U.S. Treasury bonds. This created constant demand for U.S. debt, allowing America to print money and run massive deficits while maintaining economic dominance. The U.S. Fifth Fleet, permanently stationed in the Persian Gulf, was the silent enforcer of this deal, but now the tides are turning. The U.S. packs $1 trillion. The Navy is stretched thinner than ever, while new challenges are rising. China's Navy is now larger than America's. With over 370 ships to our 290, China dominates global shipbuilding and has ownership stakes in over 90 ports worldwide. The U.S. has virtually none outside its own shores. At the same time, countries are actively moving away from the dollar. The BRICS nations are trading in their own currencies. Russia and China now conduct over 90% of their trade in yuan and rubles. Central banks globally have been buying gold at record rates, systematically reducing their dollar holdings for 3 years straight. And here's the kicker. on June 9, 2024. The 50-year petrodollar agreement with Saudi Arabia reportedly expired. While the Saudis deny a formal expiration date ever existed, the reality is clear. They are now openly accepting payments for oil in other currencies, including the Chinese yuan. This strategic pivot is part of Saudi Arabia's plan to diversify its economy and reduce its dependence on any single global power. Every oil barrel sold for yuan, euros, or rupees is a small chip away from the dollar's dominance. The world that was built on the dollar, backed by the U.S. Navy, is fundamentally changing. The era of the warship-backed dollar is coming to an end, and what comes next will define the global economy for generations. The ripples of this shift are just beginning, and they will be felt in every corner of the world. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content.